Hi guys! Hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming so early in the morning. I know it's a pretty ungodly hour, so we really appreciate that. You guys are here excited for all the programming that we have today, and hopefully you guys are not hungry. If you do, there's more food outside. So we're just gonna start we're gonna start now. We're gonna do it. So this year is the 5th annual Igniting Innovation Summit, and we are just so excited, Jane and I personally, because we have both had pretty transformational experiences. For me personally, I was sitting in the audience 2 years ago, and I thought that I was going to go into PR and fashion and do makeup, and that's what I had envisioned in my mind, and then which isn't bad, you know, but these speakers came up here and were talking about how you can take anything from your mind and you can make it happen. They're talking about limitlessness. They're talking about how you can live a life without boundaries. And it was the most inspiring moment that I've ever had, and I just sat down and started crying. Oh my gosh, like this is overwhelming, and for the first time I felt like, you know, whatever is going on, this heavy pressure on my chest, it makes sense. I feel like I finally found a purpose in life, and so I'm so excited to be co-directing the summit this year with Jane. This is Claudia, by the way. Yeah. And I'm Jane. I have been a part of the Igniting Innovation Summit since my freshman year here, which is now 3 years past. I think what I love most about the summit is that it's full of people who say yes. And I'd love for that to be something we practice today. When you have an idea, when you have a thought, and you tell someone, tell them yes, and tell them to go do it, because that's exactly what the summit is and was for me. And so we have a few really exciting things in store for you today, and we'll just go over a few of them right now. So the first thing, I'm so excited about this, we have something this year in partnership with Adobe called the Brave Space. And the way we came up with the name The Brave Space is from the term safe space, which is a place that allows you to be vulnerable and allows you to be open. But we want to take that a step further today and call it The Brave Space and really encourage everyone to make a stand for what they've learned today and how they're going to act on that in the future. And so if you've seen outside the huge black curtained areas, at any time during the day, if you feel compelled, you can go up, sign your name, and create your own video and talk about why you're inspired and talk about why you're going to say yes. And also this year we're launching a new program called the Village to Raise a Child program. So Mitchie Ferriol over here, you can come over. Do you want to give me your spiel? Hi everyone, my name is Mitchie Ferriol, and I'm the Director of Operations for the Igniting Innovation Summit this year. And I'm actually honored today to let you guys know and introduce you guys to some incredible young entrepreneurs that we have in the room from all over the world. We call them the Village to Raise a Child Global Trailblazers. So just for a little bit of information or background knowledge, the Village to Raise a Child program was established by the Harvard Social Innovation Collaborative, which also hosts the summit, to celebrate the summit's 5th year. Its goal is to identify and nurture young entrepreneurs from all around the world, and then these students are then invited to Harvard to attend lessons, meet professors, and most importantly, present at the Igniting Innovation Summit. This year, applicants were made to go through 3 really rigorous application rounds. The first was a written application screening. The second was a public voting phase, and the third was a series of final Skype interviews with the executive team. And after much deliberation, we came up with 5 winners, 3 individuals and 2 teams, who are luckily sitting with us in this room today. Through a generous sponsorship from the Coca-Cola Company, we are excited and humbled today to be introducing you to these 15 young entrepreneurs who hail from Brazil, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and the Philippines. So I would like to ask the Global Trailblazers to stand in front of the room when I call their names. Unfortunately, one of them couldn't join us today because she was taking her SATs. She is Georgia Gabriela Sampaio from Brazil, and you will be able to meet her this afternoon. Our next Global Trailblazers are the Philippine application team from the Philippines. Our next global trailblazer is Rastaraj Bhandari from Nepal. We have another team, the Without Borders team from Sri Lanka. And finally, we have Raisa Miller from Brazil. I would like now to ask our global trailblazers to give a short summary of who they are, where they're from, and what their project is about. We can start with the fill-out boys.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Joshua Lim, representing the Philippine application team. Yeah, we all come from Manila, Philippines, and our project is called the Philippine Application. And we're trying to raise the average intellectual capacity and knowledge, and as well as facilitate self-discovery in order to raise the economic growth in the Philippines. In the Philippines, we're trying to basically concretize and unify the college application process, because currently the process is very inefficient, it's very costly, it's inaccessible, and it's very limited, because more than 50% of the population in the Philippines lives beneath the poverty line. So we're trying to do something about that with the Philippine application. With our product, it's web-based, so we're trying to solve these 4 major problems. We're going to streamline everything, make it all on the web. We're going to make it very accessible, very efficient, and we're going to make it scalable. So all of this is going to be done on the PhilApp website, www.thephilapp.org. And it's going to be able to provide students from all over the Philippines with equal opportunities to pursue higher education and push their boundaries. Yeah, thank you.
Great, could we have Rastra come
up? Good morning, everyone. So basically, my name is Rastaraj Bhandari. I'm from Kathmandu, Nepal. 1 year ago, I was really fed up of studying anymore, so I started traveling. For the entire year, I did a research on the reasons of inequity in educational standards between private schools and public schools in Nepal. Currently, I'm leading this project called Education Beyond Borders Nepal, which hails more than 300 volunteers. And we're basically making educational videos in such a way that we could actually help the students from public schools pass their exams, because only 28% of students from public schools pass their board exams, whereas 90% of students from private schools pass their exams. So basically, the government has made sure that they can send computers to the schools, but there's no policy that says they need to send computer teachers. So we're actually sending videos so that these kids can actually learn computers and actually see something from the computers, because all other facilities, like even teachers, are not that qualified. So it's basically that for the first phase, we're actually trying to make sure that the students pass their exams. Then we can think about providing them with better education, and also stuff like sexual education, psychology, philosophy, and other aspects that they require to have a sound life. Thank you so much.
We have Raisa.
Well, my name is Raisa Miller. I'm coming from South Brazil, in a place where I have a lot of environmental issues, mainly because where I live in my city, we are the capital of Brazilian footwear, so we have a lot of industries. And in 2006, this big disaster happened in the river that supplies water for more than 30 cities, and about 4 million inhabitants depend on this water. And this happened mainly because of our daily responsible acts, like cooking oil spills and the wrong management of industrial waste. So what I'm trying to develop is a new material to contain these oil spills, not only cooking oil spills, but gasoline in the soil, or even petroleum spills in the oceans. So this material can absorb 1 cubic centimeter of this material can absorb up to 22 cubic centimeters of oil. And all the oil absorbed can come back to the industry, and then it can be sold again. And this material can be reused several times. So, and the cost of it is $6 a kilogram. But if you can reuse it several times, then the costs are getting lower. And it's not just an environmental issue, but it's social and it's economic. Because once the oil reaches the water, a massive cycle to the marine life happens, and the current techniques, they just allow us to break the molecules of the oil and make it sink so you cannot see it, and if they, well, it's okay now, but the whole environmental issue continues happening. So it's basically that.
So the two global trailblazers that aren't here is one team from Sri Lanka who's doing a community-based project to set up a learning facility in one of the low-income communities in their city. And they also have an entrepreneurship scheme with mothers to help them earn an income despite not actually having like a stable job. And then Georgia Sampaio from Brazil is creating a non-invasive diagnostic tool for endometriosis. So they're not really here right now, but they will be here later at the Innovation Showcase, and you will be free to speak with them at their booths. So because we have a couple of minutes, the audience is completely free to ask any questions to the Global Trailblazers, if anyone has any about their projects. Yeah.
So the material that you're making that soaks up like oil, is it still in the process, or do you have a product?
Yeah, actually I have it here.
You have it here?
Yeah.
Can you see it? I mean, you're not good right now, but.
You can see it later at the Innovation Showcase, and you guys can show it.
Yeah, I can show you. It works like a sponge, but actually it's a mineral. It's called kryptonite. So we can do it like big blocks of kryptonite, or it can be like powdered kryptonite, and then apply it like a pillow.
Okay.
I put it in non-open tissue, then have powdered kryptonite inside of non-open tissue, like a pillow, then you can apply it to the ocean. And that's dry.
Okay, well, and you're going to show this at the showcase, right?
Yes.
Actually, from Nepal, I can't remember your name.
Lastra.
I'm sorry, what?
Lastra.
Awesome. Cool. I love your video. I was wondering if you could tell us kind of like what you think the key differentiating factor between the video you volunteers are making, between that and something like Khan Academy. Is it because they're specifically geared toward like net-based testing, like testing?
Yeah, so basically the first thing that we're trying to do is we want to make sure that the students pass their exams, because now the country's education and public system is like in the survival stage. So we're basically, we don't have a concrete, we don't have a concrete idea that says like we're only following one policy, but then we're making sure that we're going to make different style of videos for different subjects or different chapters. So basically, maybe in maths, we're going to make sure that we can like solve problems like that at Khan Academy, but then I don't think we'll do that for science. So basically, now what we're brainstorming on is how we can make this video effectively, and then we're basing them on the net-based curriculum so that they can actually pass the exam. So it's just that first we want to make sure that the students pass the exams, and then we're thinking of like making sure that they get more education and better knowledge. So it's based on the net-based curriculum that actually helps them pass their exams, and it's like totally exam focused.
Yeah, this is for the PhilLab team. I'm curious if your guys' project is making components that are geared towards enhancing computer literacy and computer access to the populations on top of just streamlining sort of the center, creating a centralized system of college applications. Like, are you guys also reaching out to communities that makes it seems like effectively like use computers and access like using system to get something to that? Yeah.
Actually, that's a commonly asked question because people are concerned about Wi-Fi access and computer access, especially in the rural areas of the Philippines. But we conducted research and we found out that even public schools have access to at least 2 computers at their schools, and Wi-Fi is also very prevalent in the Philippines. It's very accessible, and we're also going to make it so that you can access it on your mobile devices, on your laptop computers, as well as PC. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do with the team.
Great, well, thank you so much for the questions. Again, we'll have the Innovation Showcase later where you'll be able to ask the Global Trailblazers, or the GTs, as we like to call them, a few more questions as well. So now we actually want to award the Global Trailblazers. One thing that we haven't mentioned is that we helped them set up their own crowdfunding campaign, which to date has raised a total of $15,000, which is amazing. So snaps to that. So Jane and Claudine will be handing out the award cards, which I would like to read out right now. So it says, the Global Trailblazer Award is presented by the Harvard College Social Innovation Collaborative to the Global Trailblazers for their work as outstanding youth entrepreneurs, given this 8th day of November 2014 at the 5th Annual Igniting Innovation Summit at Harvard University. So first up, the Philippine application. Next up, we have Raisa Miller. And lastly, we have Rasraj Bandari.
So when you guys see these students, ask a bunch of questions because they're still working out their ideas and they're so excited to be here. Some of them were on 24-hour flights just to come here and see all of you guys. So just, yeah, they're open to all your questions, all your ideas, and they're going to take these ideas and your comments and your critiques and really try to develop a more fleshed out idea and bring that to their communities. And these are all community-centric ideas. So thank you guys so much for being here today.
All right, so I have the extreme honor now of introducing our first keynote speaker. And actually, I told her earlier that I didn't know who was introducing her and didn't know who had the honor, but I'm so glad to be able to do that now. So Deepa Subramaniam is the Director of Product at Charity Water, a nonprofit dedicated to delivering clean and safe drinking water to the developing world. She is passionate about the intersection of technology and charitable giving, including how to catalyze more brands to tie social missions directly into their business models. Filled with a strong desire that she should use her talents to better the world, Deepa left a highly successful 10-year career at Adobe to move to New York and lead product at Charity Water. At Adobe, Deepa was a key leader in the launch of Creative Cloud, Adobe's subscription service, which helps the creative class be more creative. Before technical product management, Deepa was a senior computer scientist leading several developer-oriented products at Adobe. Earlier, Deepa was a graduate of UC Berkeley with a degree in computer science, a published author, and a classically trained South Indian dancer. She fills her time outside of work advising and conspiring with other millennials who want to make a more positive dent in the world. I'm so honored today to introduce Deepa.
Like blushing. It's wonderful to be here. I'm so excited, so happy. My dad, out of everything I've ever done, is like very excited that I'm here to speak at Harvard. So, hi Dad, if you're watching. Really, it's a great honor to be here. I think this is an amazing event, and I'm happy to spend the day with you all. So, as Michi said, my name is Deepa Subramaniam. I am the Director of Product at Charity Water. We are a New York-based nonprofit, and our mission is really to bring clean water to the developing world. We've been doing it for about 8 years now. I'll talk a little bit more about Charity Water and the water crisis, but I first wanted to tell a little bit about my own story. So I joined Charity Water a little shy of 15 months ago, and I had a very non-traditional path there. Prior to Charity Water, I worked at Adobe, which I'm happy to see is also here at the event today. And Adobe's based in San Francisco, classic tech company in the heart of Silicon Valley. The specifics of what I did there isn't really important, but the fact is I joined Adobe straight out of graduating from college. And I always had the idea that I'd work for a few years, develop the skills and talents necessary to go on, do something bigger. What that was, I wasn't sure. Maybe it was entrepreneurial in nature, I don't know. But I never expected to be there for 10 years. Granted, it was a very happy 10 years there. I worked on some amazing projects, helped lead really great work in both the developer world and also in the creative world, and worked with amazingly smart engineers and designers. But I had never expected to blink and have 10 years of my career go by. And it started becoming really clear that if I didn't take a moment to maybe take what I've learned at Adobe, all the skills and the talents that I had synthesized there, to go and do something more meaningful, more impactful, something that lived on beyond just me for many generations, I was going to be very upset very soon. And so I took a moment to sort of think about what that meant to me and decided to leave Adobe. So through a non-traditional route, I met Scott Harrison, the founder and CEO of Charity Water, an amazingly magnetic, inspired visionary. And we met and really connected because he wanted to bring in more traditional tech DNA to Charity Water and have more of a product-driven sense to ship the products that we do. And so basically his needs perfectly intersected with what I had to offer. I kind of consider it kismet. I was sitting in an airport in Amsterdam, waiting to fly back to San Francisco from speaking at a design conference, and looking at the posting and responding in email to Scott, and I realized, oh, exactly what Charity Water needed is what I had, and what they're doing is exactly what I have been seeking. So it was this perfect moment embedded in my brain. And so I decided after a short period of time to leave San Francisco, leave my parents, leave my sister, leave my family, leave my friends, leave Adobe, and fly across the country, move to New York. I knew 4 people in New York, and join a water sanitation health nonprofit. It was very odd, I think, to a lot of people in my life, especially my parents, who couldn't understand why I would leave a very successful career at Adobe, one where I was making good money, had a path to being an executive there, full of security and promise, to really have my salary and go join this nonprofit that they didn't know much about halfway across the country. So I got a lot of bewilderment, but I was resolute. I wanted to work on something that really expanded past me, that impacted people who I had never met and probably would never meet around the globe, and use my skills to do that and bring that to a reality. And so it was, for me, a very blessed journey, and I encourage you to maybe we can chat about it after this talk. So basically, that's my story in a nutshell. Leading a corporate, for-profit, classic tech company in the heart of Silicon Valley, moved to New York and joined a very scrappy and disruptive nonprofit charity in the West Village of Manhattan. Now, I hope some of you are already aware of what Charity Water does, but for those who don't, let me give a brief background on our mission and our vision. So, like I said, Charity Water is focused on bringing clean and safe drinking water, to the developing world. The water crisis is a reality. 800 million people do not have access to clean and safe drinking water around the world. This is the complete opposite of the experience that we have every day when we turn on our tap to take a drink of water when we're thirsty, fill our cooking pots, take a shower. 800 million people. That is a little less than 3 times the population of America. So how do these 800 million people get water? Well, if it's not readily available, it's often like this. The reality is that people, let's be clear, it's often women and children, spend hours each day walking to water sources like a lake or a river or a pond to fill jerry cans, clay pots, whatever vessel they can muster up with dirty water. Here's a young boy walking to a river, filling up a jerry can. Again, this is dirty water naturally available there. No one should have to drink water like this. This water is alive. It has parasites and amoebas, swimming with leeches. Actually, the leeches were what really took me by surprise. When I was first in Africa, you hear about how these leeches are in water. They're able to strain the larger leeches out of the water that's collected, but the smaller leeches come through. And then they grow, and what happens is when you drink a leech, what it does is it embeds in the back of your throat. So if you don't have access to a doctor, the only way to get a leech out is you either kind of dig it out with a stick, or you take a sip of diesel fuel. And you hope that you sip enough diesel fuel to kill the leech, and not enough to do damage. That story really stuck with me. So oftentimes these water sources are shared with livestock, the pigs and the cattle that a community needs to be economically viable, but unfortunately are also the livestock that then infect the water source and bring sickness to the community. It's a real catch-22. Here's a pig walking through a river, a small little stream, and this is happening near where the water is being collected. Obviously, it's not ideal. Additionally, there are natural predators when you're going to collect water from a lake, a river, or a stream. This is the Shiri River in Malawi, and there are crocodiles on the bank of this river. So when our team went to visit this village, they were sharing the story about how earlier that year, a young boy who was collecting water was killed by a crocodile. And in fact, you can see they kind of placed some branches and brambles as sort of a primitive early warning system to try to thwart a crocodile attack. But these are real dangers that people face every day as they go to collect dirty water for their needs. It's not just communities who don't have access to clean water. Half of the world's schools don't have access to clean running water or have functioning toilets. Imagine waking up if you're a child getting ready to go to school, and as part of your daily morning ritual, you're walking to the river to collect dirty water and to bring that to school with you so that when you have to go to the bathroom later in the day, you can. Again, these water sources are far away, so you have to factor in waking up, grabbing that, and then walking again to school. Imagine you're a young girl and you get your period. Well, the fact is, often girls drop out of school at that point. If you don't have access to functioning toilets, the privacy that a bathroom provides to wash up, it's really difficult. And so these girls are ashamed, it becomes an issue. So charity water was really born out of this need. It's not really about 800 million people as a statistic. It's about the individual stories of people, again, often women and children, carrying up to 40 pounds of dirty water on their back, walking hours for days, when in fact, in many of these communities, clean water is accessible. Maybe it's just really far down in the earth, below their own homes, but it's there. There's usually a solution that can be provided. So the water crisis is a real solvable problem. And it's solvable not through just awareness, but also technology. There are solutions. There's lots of ways to bring clean water to different communities all around the world. So here are some of the technologies that we use at Charity Water in the 24 different countries that we operate in. You can have a hand-dug well, or a drilled well, which actually requires bringing in a rig to dig deep to access clean, drinkable water that's far below the community itself. There's other systems like you can catch rainwater, you can purify that. You can have a spring protection system, a gravity fed system. Here's one of my favorites. It's called a biosand filter, a BSF for short. It's a very clever system. At its cheapest, this is a $65 biosand filter, and it can bring clean water to a single family of 6 to 8 members. So in countries like Cambodia and parts of Bangladesh, water is actually very, very abundant. But in fact, it's tainted with arsenic, so it's toxic to drink. And so this single filter can turn dirty, arsenic-laced water into clean water. And I think the way it does it is really fascinating. It's basically this clever use of a natural system. Sandwiched in between the cement and the sand layers is a biological layer of bacteria that can eat 99% of the harmful bacteria in dirty water. So you pour in dirty water up top, and then you let it seep through the system, and the bacteria eats away at the harmful bacteria and out comes clean water. It's a very simple and effective system that is economically efficient. And for $65, it can change the lives of the family halfway around the world. So here's some clean water coming out of the biosand filters. Now, Charity Water's mission is clean water, yet its vision is really about reinventing charity. We have a model that I'll explain in a moment, but it really lends itself to solving some of the world's worst global issues, not just clean water. In fact, that's exactly how Scott envisioned it when he started Charity Water 8 years ago. And I'll talk about this model, but when used, it can expand itself to solve problems like AIDS, malaria, education, poverty, so on and so forth. So what is Charity Water's model? It's basically 3 core pillars. The first the one we're probably most well known for, is our 100% model. So this is really the cornerstone of charity water. I consider it our sacred cow. 100% of your donations go directly to the field. You know, so many charities are black holes. You're never quite sure exactly where your money's going. It could be going to the field, but it could also be used to pay rent. It could be used to fly their staff to the field or fund the CEO's salary. And so what Scott wanted to do was envision a model where perhaps you could have private donors, sponsors, totally separate entity fund the operational cost of the charity, such that your donations, the public's donations, 100% of it goes to the field. And in fact, this was the model that Scott started 8 years ago, and it's still how we operate today. So that means whenever you donate, whether you donate $5 or $5,000, 100% of it goes to the field. In fact, if you make a $100 donation with your credit card, say American Express takes $4 out of it, at Charity Water, we will supplant that $4 so that we can say to you with 100% confidence, your $100 went to the field. I feel incredibly lucky to work in an organization that can operate like this. The second pillar of how we function is proof, transparency. We want to show people exactly where their money went and how it impacted people. And we can use technology to do that. It's very simple. Whether you donate a little or a lot, we will prove your project to you with GPS coordinates of your water project and pictures of the water point and the community it serves. And so this is really the brilliance of a $99 GPS device attached to a water project in all the different countries that we operate in. So we prove where the water project is and the community that it served on Google Earth. Every single one of our water projects is documented directly on our website. You can always go and check it out. So when you donate, you'll get a short time later an update on where your money went, and then the progress of the building of the water project, and ultimately this sort of completion report that talks to you about the water project and the community that it served, and the GPS coordinates and pictures to prove it. Now the last pillar that makes up Charity Water is brand. Scott didn't want to build just any old charity, a very traditional charity, not at all. He really wanted to build a brand that inspired, a brand that was cool, a brand that appreciated creativity, positivity, and storytelling. Honestly, a brand that had taste. Where were the Nikes and the Apples of charities back then? Well, he went about to create that, to create a charity that would inspire people through storytelling, and that would be cool to be associated with, and to really inspire, especially the younger generation, to give back, to become, essentially to make charitable giving addictive and rewarding. And so he managed to do that, and that is definitely a key part of how we operate today. Now, one of the first questions I get when I tell people what I do is, what does the director of product at Charity Water do? I mean, my parents ask me this on the regular. So really what it is that my team and I govern the online experience of Charity Water. And that's really made up of 3 key products. The first is a direct donation platform, so you can donate directly to Charity Water, either one time or with a monthly giving program. And we use that money as we see fit to build new water projects around the world. It's probably the simplest way you can interact with us. You can go ahead and donate, and we'll use that money. It also includes an educational platform. This is where we tell the stories of how clean water can transform a community. We highlight the people, we highlight the communities where clean water makes their lives better and how exactly it does that. You know, it's not just a health issue. The lack of clean water is definitely a huge health issue, but it's not just limited to that. It's a little naive to consider that it's purely a health issue. Really, the lack of clean water affects so many different things related to more than just health. The lack of clean water steals education from young children. They're spending hours each day walking to collect water. It's a beauty issue. Oftentimes we hear stories, there's a beautiful story of this woman, Helen Alpio, on our website, where she talks about how, you know, she goes and collects water, it's a limited amount of water, and she has to make really critical choices with that. Make sure her kids can drink, make sure she has enough water to cook for that day. And oftentimes she sacrifices cleaning her own clothes and her own body so that her children and her husband can have clean clothes. So when you bring a water system directly into her community, and she can walk out to a tap, get water whenever she wants, She can clean herself, she can wash her face, she can put on nice clothes. Bring beauty to a woman who's spending hours each day walking to get dirty water. So overall, I really think that apart from just health, clean water brings dignity to people who are lacking it ahead before time. Now, the major product we offer, and the one that I think is the real engine behind our online business, our ability to raise money for clean water, the piece of the product that I spend 90% of my day on is called My Charity Water. And this is our fundraising platform. It's a crowdfunding platform, and anyone can run a campaign to raise money for clean water. So our flagship idea was really around giving up your birthday. How many of us need more birthday gifts? How many of us trust our family or parents to buy us what we want after a particular age? I don't think my parents can buy me what I want. I go ahead and I buy it myself. I don't need more birthday gifts. So as you get older, you maybe realize, hey, maybe I'm going to run a birthday campaign. I'm going to give up my birthday, and instead of asking for gifts, I'm going to ask people to donate to my campaign. And all of that money goes directly to the field. So we've had some successes with celebrities giving up their birthdays to run birthday campaigns. Mr. Bieber here gave up his 17th birthday, raised $47,000. Then it spread into fashion. Angela Ahrens, the CEO of Burberry, raised $101,000. On to Jack Dorsey into tech. He gave up 3 of his birthdays and raised a significant amount of money. Again, all going to the field, clean water. Will and Jada Smith raised over $200,000, which was really great. But the reality is, a bulk of the money raised, most of the money raised by our fundraisers are by people you don't even know. So this is actually a little snapshot from a new homepage. You guys are getting this sneak peek, by the way. A new homepage that will be going out probably Monday, where we're celebrating our fundraisers. These are young kids, older people all around the country, in some cases around the world, really, who are doing anything to raise clean water. So from birthdays, it kind of evolved. Now people give up their anniversaries, they give up their weddings. They do totally cool, crazy things for clean water. So Riley here in the top left, she ate rice and beans every night to raise money for clean water. We've had people run lemonade stands. Schools come together to donate to clean water. So I'd actually like to pause here for a moment and share a short video that better explains both what Charity Water does, how it impacts the people who we bring clean water to, and how it's all done through the support of our fundraisers and our donors. I love that video. It gives me warm fuzzies. It's a great place to work. That was a bunch of our staff at the end of the video. And honestly, if any of you guys are ever in New York and want a tour of our office, just shoot me an email, tweet at me. I'd be happy to help. Okay, now what I was most excited about when I left Adobe, when I left San Francisco and I moved to New York, was not necessarily the opportunity to help end the water crisis with our work at Charity Water, but that was definitely an incredibly motivating factor. But in a way, it was bigger than that. It's my sincere belief that we're on the cusp of seeing how connected technologies can help solve incredible global problems. Using the internet, using technology, using disruption to bring empathy and solutions to some of the biggest problems plaguing our global community. Now, if you have an opportunity to read this book called Abundance by Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler, Peter also has a fantastic TED Talk on this topic. They talk about how exponentially growing technologies will soon enable us to meet the basic needs of every single person on this planet. Now, what are these technologies? Honestly, we know what they are. Artificial intelligence, robotics, digital manufacturing, synthetic biology, infinite computing, network broadband, the list goes on and on. But basically, these technologies are letting us directly improve issues like global health, climate change, educational deficits, food insecurity, so on and so forth. We're now in a world where a low-cost, handheld medical device can sometimes diagnose someone better than a human doctor. Innovation in farming has produced something called vertical farms. These are farms that use 80% less land, 90% less water, and 100% fewer pesticides than traditional agriculture, with near zero transportation costs. It's not just physical problems that are being addressed. Someone mentioned Khan Academy earlier. You're now being able to have a world-class education at the swipe of a tablet. You can take a degree iOS design course, whether you're a kid in Pakistan, Burkina Faso, Oakland, California. So these advances in science and technology offer really exciting possibilities for the future of the near 7 billion people on this planet. However, what is clear is that the growth of exponential technologies cannot be successful without community. There's this term that my friend Smiley Poswalski coined, called an exponential community. And these are communities that consist of people who can accelerate our ability to innovate, to design, to try, fail, and learn in a faster way. Communities that empower each individual member to create and reach and exceed their potential to do something as a group, to bring the change that they want to see in the world. You are all in this type of community right now. In fact, you may be a part of the best exponential community that you will ever be a part of. I look out and I see people who are probably going to design the next advance in artificial intelligence, the next remote sensor that determines whether a water project is functioning, the next disposable toilet in the developing world. And I know how scary it can be to go this route. Believe me, I know. Working in the nonprofit space or going the entrepreneurial route to focus on social impact can seem intimidating in the beginning, especially if you're on the cusp of graduating and some of your friends might be choosing very lucrative fields to go into. We all have finance friends, they're wonderful. But let me share some stats with you that might appease some of your concerns. Social innovation, social entrepreneurship, the marriage of social causes with consumer goods, tech products and services, it's not a fad, it's here to stay. In fact, it's growing. In a study assessing the impact of millennials as a consumer power, when it came to brand choice, 40% of millennials want to see a brand or product that incorporates social responsibility. 79% of millennials are more likely to purchase a company's product if it has a social cause backing it. 74% of millennials are more likely to pay attention to a company's message if the company expresses a deep commitment to a social cause. This means that not only is there a market for social impact, social innovation, social entrepreneurship, whatever you want to call it, there's a real return on investment. And it doesn't just live in the nonprofit world. You're seeing more and more for-profit companies add social cause elements into their core value proposition, in some ways significantly altering their business model to do so. I hope you can all recognize the groundswell in this arena and have faith and confidence in establishing a future here. I'd like to end with a quote I recently read. It actually hangs on a little paper on my front door, and I see it every morning and read it when I walk out of my teeny tiny Manhattan apartment to go to work. Let me read it for you. I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. I hope all of you meet with successes unexpected in common hours. Thank you so much for letting me speak here today. I hope you have a wonderful conference. Ask lots of questions, challenge the speakers, find inspiration, and enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? Sounds very enthusiastic. How are you guys doing? Okay, great. I'm Blessing. I am the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Summit team. And I'm just so excited to see everyone here. This is amazing. If you have an empty seat next to you, could you raise your hand? Because there are people sitting on the sides, there's people sitting in the back. So people who don't have a seat, could you see the people who are raising their hands and go find a seat? Okay, great, thank you. If you still don't have a seat, there is a overflow room in B101, and it has a live stream video with everything. So you can still be part of the summit. So I introduced myself, and I basically started working on the summit in February, so 9 months ago. And since February, it's been 9 months of hard work, focusing on one thing, late night food runs, and just a lot of emotional swings. So if that sounds familiar to you, yes, we are birthing a summit baby today. The entire summit team has been basically working on this baby for 9 months, so we're so excited for you to see it come alive. And I also just want to mention the hashtag Ignite 2014. You can use that hashtag for your tweeting. Who is Lily Herman? If you're Lily Herman, raise your hand. You've been doing a great job on the Twitter. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, let's give a Lily. Thank you. That's awesome. So yeah, if you want to live tweet during the summit, just put hashtag 2014, and that'll be awesome, and that'll help us a lot. So next up is an amazing woman named Rachel Chong. She's the founder and CEO of Catch a Fire, and that's the world's leading skills-based volunteer platform. Rachel has been named one of the World Economic Forum's Young Global Leaders, one of Fast Company's most 100 creative people in business, received the New York City Venture Fellowship, the Tribeca Disruptive Innovation Award, and has presented at 2 TEDx events. Catch a Fire has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Mashable, NPR, Fox Business, CNN Money, Forbes, Fast Money, TechCrunch, and facilitated 2 series in partnership with Fast Company on the future of service in America and the most general people in business. Prior to Catch a Fire, Rachel helped to start up BRAC USA, the US affiliate of the BRAC, a poverty alleviation organization and the largest nonprofit in the world. To build her business chops, Rachel worked at UBS Investment Bank after graduating from Barnard College at Columbia University. She also has a Master's of Public Policy from Duke University. So give a big round of applause for Rachel. Thanks so much for your speech, Deepa. It was inspiring, and thank you all for being here on Saturday morning. So I was thinking all morning on the plane to New York,
to Boston about what I wanted to talk to you all about. And I've never given this speech before. I thought about this and I thought about, you know, who are the people in this room? Right now, you're all inspired. You woke up really early on Saturday to be here. But who are the